Welcome, Kerbal I am Ben Pearson, the Roadster Tracker. We are going to continue in our adventures in the excellent game of Kerbal Space Program, which is a space simulator. It does all kinds of fun stuff. It lets you fly real-ish rockets that are mostly pretty realistic and do all kinds of neat stuff. And it is a lot of fun, and we are going to give this a shot and see how well we can do. So, this time, we choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon not because it is easy, but because it is hard. And to do the other things. Yeah, I'm totally butchering that. Sorry, guys. But we're going to go to the moon. Pretty straightforward. So one possible mission we may do first, but I was just looking some stuff up. Let's see what kind of parts we have. We do have a probe core. We do not have big rockets. I really wish we had big rockets. Well, we're going to have to try to figure out some of these deployable units. I think they're going to be the key. So, let's take a look at our rescue mission as a starter. Now, this does not have nearly enough delta V. This has just basically enough delta V to make it in orbit. Not enough to go to the moon or anywhere too terribly interesting. This upper stage does have enough to get us to the moon, land there, and get us back home. So I think we're going to just make a bigger version of this. So in order to do that, let's see. We're going to need a couple of boosters. I think we'll do the trick. A couple of strap-on side boosters. We'll be able to carry 3 Kerbal Knots. This top stage is manageable. We have all of the sciences. We'll take a scientist and an engineer so that we have all of the stuff that we may need. I think this is going to work out pretty swell. I think that will do. No, if anything, we want this kind of we want a bigger adapter. Rockomax? There we go. No, we're gonna do this differently. It's generally preferred to have shorter, stouter rockets for a number of reasons. And so that's what we're going to do. It'll be easier to land and just be smoother. Is this... No. Oh, this is a fuel adapter. Let's see how this works. Yeah, that actually has a little bit of fuel. Nice. No, not the right size. That's 200, 400. It's gotta be this. Unfortunately, all we have is these little itty bitty rocket tanks. Well, this is fine for now. Let's take a look. So if we put the Terrier engine, it's got enough delta V. We need roughly 2,000. So if we can get this thing to the moon, this thing can get us back home. Now we don't necessarily have to go to the moon fully this time. This is just a orbit will be enough. So let's see how we can do this. Let's see. This is Lunar Orbiter Mission Mom. We'll go with that. We don't really need any antennas. They're kind of nice, but meh. We're going to put some EVA experiments. Hopefully we can get some good stuff done like that. Parachutes. Okay. This will do. Now, let's look at our coupling. I think it's a 2.5. Is there a better choice besides a Terrier engine? Poodle. Poodle's a little bit bigger than what we want, really. RL10 Poodle. So we're looking for Skipper's also bigger. We really, I don't think this is what we want to do. Here's what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna send just one Kerbal. So we're gonna load up our, don't save. This is just gonna take one Kerbal and orbit the moon. That's what we're gonna go for. I think that will do much better, and then we don't need the docking adapter. So let's go ahead and put a parachute on. That will get us back home. Yeah, I'm already starting to like this better. Then let's put in... The reason why I want to go bigger if we can is I want to get one of the Science Juniors. Science Junior fits here. I didn't realize that. Huh. They're smaller than I remembered. That's fine. We can take it all the way. This will do. Quite nicely. Okay. I'm liking this. It should have enough parachutes to stop, especially with the heat shield. So let's put on some goo. We have EVA experiments, which we're going to put in there. Good. Hopefully that will let us do something fun. Let's go with the rocket tank. So we just need one of these and then like a poodle or terrier. So that's plenty. And then let's put in a coupler. Our thrust to weight ratio is still actually pretty high. We could put in another tank. Let's try a full-sized one. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Okay, this is feeling good. So this will help us to design our mission to properly land on the moon. But for now, we're just gonna take it one step at a time and orbit the planet because you don't go too far ahead. Is it 12? Yes. Okay. Now we can just, we're gonna need a bunch of these. That's probably about right. Engine type. Bobcat is roughly what we're actually... So, we could put just a Reliant. That won't give us any ability to stir, but yeah, that's fine. Our thrust to weight ratio is really a bit low. I'm just trying to do in my head the math. We need about, yeah, a little over 5,000. So this has some margin, but we just need a little bit of oomph to get us off the pad. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put on a pair of radial boosters. And we're just gonna go with kickbacks. Sure, why not? So these will get us off the ground. This is actually way more power than we need. Let's try something a little bit. That's a significant cost of our entire mission. These are even more powerful, aren't they? And they're more expensive. Maybe even just some, not fleas, but some hammers. Yeah, there we go. So they'll just get us off the ground, give us a little bit of extra kick, and then when we light this top stage, we'll barely be able to control, but that's okay. It's all right. Check the staging real quick. I'm actually gonna fire the separation charge and the yeah. No. We'll do it how it had it. Good. Let's separate these ones out though. And we may switch the order if we look like we're doing really, really well. Alright. I like it. Be nice if we had a scientist on board so we could reset our science experiment, but we're going to get that from low Earth orbit. Okay, let's do it. We're gonna just scooch over. Whoops, daisies. Come on. This thing wants to roll, but that's okay. Okay, now we got lots and lots of control authority. Good. Because we're using our actuators, so we can actually point the direction of the thrust in the right direction, which is fantastic. Let's keep going. Our surface speed is actually dropping a little bit, which is okay. Let's just stay right here. There we go. Now we're starting to increase. Oh. Those are low enough where there's a chance they may recover. Like this one, I think, landed safely, so we'll be able to recover that. Nice. Okay, we're speeding up a little bit more. since we have such a low thrust to weight ratio, then we're gonna burn a little bit more vertical than we would like. Just a different EVA reports possible. We're now over the ocean, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Now we're talking. So we burned through about half of our first stage here. We're starting to really accelerate because a lot of the fuel is gone. So our thrust is the same, fuel is gone, and we are therefore doing much, much better. Let's go ahead and show this. So we still are going to get 1,000 meters per second, which will be quite nice. Let's tilt over a little bit more. There we go, 500. I just learned that you can actually toggle between sea level and the ground. I had never known that that was a thing, and that would have made my life so much simpler some of the time. Let's go full horizontal. So we're 35. That's not bad. Not quite full horizontal either. We're probably going to have to dogleg this just a scooch too. So we're going to keep pointing upward at least a little bit. We're getting some flamey effects, but this is fine. We need up a little bit more. We want to try to keep this time to Apoasis growing. There we go. That's good. Yeah, that's fine. We tried to go too horizontal too soon, which is fine. Let's go a little bit more horizontal. So once this gets to about 75, cut off. Okay. Warp full speed. Wasn't horrible. Not the best I've ever done, but it's not horrible. So where's the moon? Do we see it? Nope. Oh, it's there. So we are not pointing in the right direction to go there, but that's fine. Whoops, daisies. Okay, that should take us into orbit. Let's see. Let's just wait until we're right around here. Oh, I definitely went a little early. That's fine. Let's just go a scooch. So this will take us outside of the atmosphere. We don't see the moon yet, so we may actually be able to just head straight to the moon from this point. The rule of thumb, of course, is as soon as you see the moon, that may be Minmus. As soon as you see the moon, then you fire towards it, and you should be able to intersect. This will be a lot easier and better than the last time we did this. Okay, we're in full orbit. Let's go ahead and just accelerate a little bit. Come on, moon, where are you? There we go. So here's the moon. We'll just aim right at it and fire. So we're going to keep an eye on the map for the purpose of this burn. Yeah, looking pretty decent. We should be able to intersect here. Hey there, Ralph. Welcome. How you doing this fine day? We're definitely in a robotic type of day. Okay. Let's just take this periapsis of the moon, bring it in a little lower. Well, shucks. Perfect. I think that's gonna do. So let's just go ahead and warp forward. So we have a lot of fuel left. Don't have enough to do a full landing, but we definitely have enough to do this mission. Okay, let's go ahead and warp to right about here. Okay, then we're going to adjust orbit so that we're actually orbiting. 4 minutes. Let's go ahead and warp a little bit closer. Okay. Come on. Let's actually wait another scooch before we fire, and we're just gonna fire ourselves full thrust and get ourselves in orbit here. Come on. Good. Let's keep going, actually. We'll have ourselves in a full low lunar orbit. So that'll allow us to get a lot of cool science. There we go. Good. All right. Sweet. We did it. So we're going to collect this. Okay. let's do an EVA. So we need to actually pull this. Wait, that's the... We want the jetpack just in case. Okay, there we go. So the parachute is tucked in, which we don't really need. And we're going to see if we can deploy this. Perform EVA science. Do we have to let go? So we got some kind of a nut. Hey, 75 experience. Huh. Cool. I've never done one of these before. It looks like we still can do something else with it, but let's board. So we're just gonna kind of hang out here for a little bit. So we do see that there is some deploy all, EVA report, keep, board. We're going to see if we can collect a few of these EVA reports. And how's our... We have orbit the moon. Still got the bring the moonstone back. Okay. So before we head back, let's take a look and see what kind of contracts we can do. Because I have a feeling that we got some fun ones. We have another explore the moon, which is to land there. Which I think is going to be our next big one. But that one will happen anytime. I think these pair, one is to orbit Kerbin, and one is, yeah, it's a couple of tourist missions. We'll go ahead and do those. Get us a little bit of money. Give us another chance to get a Science Junior in orbit to get us some more science. And then let's recover our booster. Sweet. So, okay. Let's get our mission back. Because this thing has a lot of science. And a more experienced Kerbal. Let's just go ahead and let it go through another orbit, see if we can pick up any science. So, EVA, get the report, keep, board, sweet. Now can we perform EVA science still? Looks like we still have some more. Darn. We'll try it in a different situation to see if that gives us something different. I think we may have hit all of the biomes that we can do. EVA report, keep and board. I love the science mod. Science Alert, one of the greatest mods there is. To catch all of these little annoying, otherwise virtually impossible ones to catch. Let's keep going for a little bit more. Okay, good enough. Let's start to plan our return. So we want to start slowing down. So we're going to fire here. And we're going to accelerate, which is going to have us slow down in the direction of Kerbin. There we go. Not quite right. Can we adjust the position of this maneuver node? So we're going to just keep adjusting the position until we have a return. That looks pretty decent. Let's see. Okay, I think this will do. Right there. We have a return trajectory. And we should have plenty of fuel to do this. So let's just warp to the next maneuver node. Looks like we collected all of our science here too. Excellent. Oh, this is good. It's a 14-second burn in 1 minute. So we're going to go ahead and just speed up to get this. Let's keep going. 4. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From this point, it's pretty much blast off until we look like we're gonna enter Kerbin. Perfect. I don't know. I think we may have overdone it a scooch. Let's just slow this down a bit. There we go. Same for 32 is good. Okay, let's go till we're about here. So this will be high enough where we can try our EVA experiment, see if we gain a little bit more science from that. Let's keep going a little bit more. Okay, looking good. This is high over the moon and then perform the EVA science. Cannot be done right now. Oh, that's right, because we have to actually be loose. Support. Hey! Different thing while high over the moon. Good. So let's keep going. Until we are closer to Kerbin gravitationally than we are to the moon. Looks like we're still going to continue upwards a bit, which is fine. Let's go back to our little dude. Look at how happy he is. We're going to let go of our capsule. We're going to do another EVA science. Good. Now we got to keep going until we're low. That's going to be fun, but we'll just warp to here. That's... Oh, wait. Warp to here. We are still going lower. Hang on. We're going to abort this warp. Warp to about there. Okay, let's check our altitude. I think we're in low. Right? Yeah. So keep this. Perform EVA science. Spinning around. Get on here and board. Perfect. I think we're good to go. Let's do it. So we've hit the atmosphere. Do I? No, we've done plenty. There's other points. Whoa. I think... Oh dear. Hang on. Let's put us in the altitude here. So we blew up our Science Junior. It's a good thing we got the science out of there. We don't have a heat shield, which may be a little bit problematic. But I think we're surviving so far. Oh well. Come on. Orbital speed is dropping, which is excellent. And I think we're mostly out of the woods. We're essentially horizontal. We are still continuing to drop, though. That's fine. We are going to re-enter now. I think we're going slow enough where we're not too worried. Oh, we have all the stats down here. I did not realize that. Oh, jeez. Kerbal Engineer really is no longer as important as it used to be. Well, that was a little bit more exciting than intended to be, but this is okay. We still have our parachute, and we're going to be going slow enough soon to deploy it. That's all that really matters. And we got all of our lovely, juicy, juicy science. Nice. It's just silence. Oh, the utter silence of space. So it looks like we're going to land in the ocean. Okay. Yeah, not doing an EVA report. Nope, nope, nope. Jebediah. Actually, once we deploy our parachute, which we're going to do now, when it's fully deployed, I suppose we could risk it. Yeah, why not? Let's wait until we got a nice slowdown. Good. Okay. EVA. Collect the report. Board. Could, in theory, do the EVA science experiment. But no, let's just land. We don't need the jetpack at this point in time. Okay, let's do an EVA. We can collect a surface sample of the water. EVA report, and we'll do our science experiment here. You play golf, nice. Board. Keep. Grab. Board. There we go. Okay, let's recover this vessel. See what kind of science we got here. So we got a lot of science. That's good. Tons of it. This EVA science experiment is really helpful. Cool. What's next? Our crew has gained a little bit of experience, but still only 1 star. That's a pity. Come on, Jeb. What are you doing, man? That's not fair. Let's check out the science. No, we don't want that. Let's see here. RCS fuel tank actually would be kind of helpful. The fuel duct is huge. An 800 meter. Yeah, we're going to take this one. Bunch of fancy nose cones, flags. Larger decoupler, that's interesting. Hydraulic cylinder. Oh yeah, for robotic stuff. Well, maybe we'll get there. We will eventually. EVA repair kits. Maybe. Well, sure, we'll do it. Let's check to see if we got some more advanced science, because those are always good to help keep us moving along. Some bigger solar panels, me. Weather analyzer. Guess that's another deployable thing. Maybe. How much science do we have left? 300. This could be huge. Oh, yeah, we'll get this. RCS thrusters will definitely be helpful for what we're trying to do. A large parachute. I want the larger node. Well, we'll get you, and then inline cockpit is not really what we're looking for. The arrow shells could be nice. Mark III command pod. There we go. Except for we don't have enough for it. Well, darn. Lunar excursion module. Huh. Okay. Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to go for a landed thing. The EVA experiments kit is still nice. Let's do our tourist mission. And then, so we're going to start with the rescue mission. We're going to call this the tourist mission. Tourist. The big difference, for one, we're going to replace this with a slightly bigger fuel tank. So that means we can't really effectively take off, but we have more than enough fuel for... let's put it here. Science Junior. We don't need the docking port. So is there another interesting... I mean, we could in theory put the storage unit, but nah. We'll just put a parachute there, I guess. I don't know. Do one of the big parachutes. And then we don't need these guys. Yeah, I like that. I dig it. Don't need a hitchhiker because they're too big. Okay, what's next? Next is we gotta solve the thrust problem, which we're gonna do the same way we did with our last mission, which is to just have a couple of small strap-on boosters that will get us through our initial acceleration. We're gonna do things just a smidgen different though. We're gonna still use the hammer, 2 of them. We do a slider, that could be fun. Like the Atlas 541 configuration, where it has just one booster that it uses to get it off. But we'd have to adjust the pointing, and I'm too lazy to do that, so we'll go with symmetrical. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, we will go ahead and fire off this booster all at the same time. We have a huge thrust to weight ratio. Let's go ahead and limit the thrust here by about 50%, so that way our thrust to weight ratio is more reasonable. And then, yeah, okay. I dig it. Let's do it. Crew. So we're going to put our 2 tourists here. We could probably put some more science experiments on here. Let's see what the cargo that we could carry would be. I'm gonna try this. I don't know how well this is gonna work, but we're gonna see what we can do. We'll also put the EVA science experiment in here. Now that's what Jeb has with him at the moment. So then we actually want to put in the personal parachute here. Not the personal parachute, the EVA. Just in case. And we want to actually give that to him. We'll leave this as inventory. Yeah. Okay. This should do. Check our crew one more time. We got our 2 tourists and our pilots. Do we want to have Jeb do this? Yeah, we'll give him the grunt work. He got a fun mission last time. This time he's going to get some grunt work. Okay. I'm not going to do the material study till we get to space. Now we do have a little bit of thrust with this particular configuration, so we are going to try to avoid hitting the launch pad. Our boosters probably are not going to survive, but you know what? It's worth a shot. If they'll hit terminal, it'll be fine. And they're out. Woo! That was pretty nifty. Okay, let's start hard burning. What am I doing? Do I have the swivel? No, we don't. Okay. Revert to vehicle assembly. We're not going to hold that against us because I chose the wrong engine for some crazy reason. Just checking the numbers, make sure they also make sense, and they do. Won't revert very often, but where it's very clearly well, we're still on the launch pad, so this one I'll let it be. If it's bad flying, then we will abandon ship. But that was not bad flying. That was... I very clearly made a mistake in the design that was minor. Okay, let's do it. There we go. And we're already heading a little bit downstage. Beautiful. While I'm at it, we'll separate these out into 2 stages. Oh, that's a maneuver mode. Okay. Well, one could definitely say we're in maneuver mode now. Cool. And you can see the countdown timer as well. Beautiful. So let's go ahead and level this out a little bit more. Nice little swivel. It's really neat how that happens. We're definitely higher than we were with our lunar mission. So, when we drop those off, which is fine. It'll be fine. If they make it, they make it, and if they don't, they don't. They should be getting pretty close to the ground. They're actually not moving that fast. Let's see, 20 seconds. We're going to hold steady here. Yeah. And then we can go a little bit more over. I like to fly to try to keep the time to reaching the periapsis roughly level. Okay, that's a new material study. This is not what we're going to do. Can go over more. I think this is good. Yep, we're holding steady at 28. Considering we're getting close to the end of this booster, then we're in a really good spot. So, totally random thing, but I just got a accepted application to work at the science museum that has Space Camp. So I may be doing that for the fun of it. Wouldn't work probably with Space Camp itself, but still, could be fun. Okay, looking good. Our time is dropping, which I'm okay with, but we're just going to maintain this attitude. It's okay because we have a lot less thrust with this more efficient upper stage engine. Okay, looking pretty. U.S. Space and Rocket Center. Okay, we're gonna level out more now, though. Let's just put it right on the direction of motion, and we're going down a little bit again, which I'm okay with. We're not gonna go down that much. We're basically outside of the atmosphere at this point in time, where we're pretty darn close to orbital speeds. So I'm going to keep going just like this. Okay, let's go flatter. And that's as low as I will go. Actually, we can go. There we go. A little bit of wiggle. It's always a pain. Got to settle out. Work. 60. Let's go till 75. Okay, we're good. So 6 minutes. We're going to fire our engines one last time. Get us into a decent orbit. Let's just full speed. Hang on. This is the perfect time. Jebediah, here you're going to do some fun stuff. Take out your parachute. Actually bored. I'm going to slow this down because this is not what I was hoping. Wasn't supposed to do that. Okay. Have a steady. Good. EVA report, which we have. Perform EVA science. Uh-oh. Get back there. Oh, gosh. Ah! Windows key. It'll be fine. It's interesting that it started to spin out of control. But we got plenty of time and fuel to capture this. Okay. How's it going? I'm inside of the atmosphere and my spacecraft is spinning out of control with 2 tourists in it. And yeah. So it's going just peachy, I guess, right? Come on. Let's stay right there. Okay, come down. Ah! This is what I get for trying to do something stupid. Whoop. Oh, we got a head bonk. We're in space now. Let's... There we go. We'll do a little bit of a cheat to stop the spinning. Gotta love the time warp stop spinning trick. Okay. These 2 tourists are like, I don't have a pilot. We don't have any way to control this thing. All they really would need to do is push the parachute button to deploy home, but that's okay. Where's the crew hatch? Sorry. I'll look at the chat in a moment, but right now I have to be concentrating on this or else bad stuff will happen. There we go. And board. Okay. So where are we at? Hey, we're still looking pretty decent. Uh-oh, helmet light. I guess I could have used that. Yep. So we're good. We have our 2 tourists. They are totally unaware that anything interesting just happened. That's curious. So we were deploying an EVA experiment in high atmospheric conditions, and those are always interesting. We do want to do the material study now. Collect all. Okay. Let's, phew. Totally recovered. We got that. Okay. We have plenty of fuel too. Now let's just full thrust. Give it another couple minutes. Keep going, keep going. Yeah, I should have turned on my light. That probably would have helped. I'm sure that's like the biggest reason why there was an issue, right? Never mind the totally unsafe thing. I forgot to turn on my light. It's not an emergency if nobody knows about it. I mean, we have the 2 tourists there, but they are in their own separate module. And, you know, theoretically, they can't easily get back and forth. So we just locked the hatch in order to do our EVA. So, yeah, we should be good. Let's just delete all these. Well, what world first did we get? Yes, this is the moon orbit. Okay, looking good. Contract. We just have to get these guys back home. Okay. Anything else? Well, let's see. We do have this. I don't know if this is something that we can actually do something with. So, we can't transfer cargo. Let's do an EVA here. Why? Why is it doing that? Like, I don't get it. Something is just causing this to spin wildly out of control whenever I leave for any reason. Huh. Well, let's just do a quick EVA report, perform the EVA science. We are in orbit this time, so I'm just gonna... Okay. Let's do the EVA science. Recycle that. Can I do this one? Oh wait, I don't have my jetpack, do I? Oh no. No, I do have the jetpack. What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, we're boarded, so we have this. Let's see if we can give it to Jeb. Jedediah? Huh. Okay, well, let's try... That is gonna be a bit of a problem. I'm gonna do a quick save. Let's see if we can deploy this. Like, what is the problem? I do not understand why this is being like this. Let's toggle the SAS off, then EVA, and then it still does this. Okay, this time, okay. Oh wait, the quick save didn't exist? Hang on. Oh dear, what are we gonna do? So we took off his suit so that we could do our EVA science report, and I forgot to stick it back in. Well, since this is a bug, I'm not gonna feel guilty if we do something a little bit tricksy. So Jedediah, can we give you... It's too bad that it can't... So we got a bunch of junk, but we can't actually just give him the jetpack. Let's try infinite fuel. No. Okay, so we could do set orbit. We could set this to be like 1 meter away. Whoops. Tourist mission. Two meters away? Okay. We'll count that as a win. The game's gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat back. Perform EVA science. Can't be done right now. So we're going to put this here. And then... hang on. We're going to set this out. So we're going to pin this. Okay, I'm pretty sure we have to be on the surface to actually do that, which is not a surprise, really. Okay, grab and board. Done. Let's get this cursed mission done with. Now, where should we try to land these guys? Let's try for the Kerbal Space Center. So I don't know, let's add a maneuver here. Actually, let's just warp to there. We're going to warp to here. We're going to try to go about, what, 30, 40 above the KSC. We'll try to have the 40 be around here. $35. Yeah, this should do. Okay. Anything else that we particularly want to do? Or do we... let's hold on to the... no. It's... ditch our fuel tank. So we're going to just set it like this. We're going to be in a stable mode, and we're going to warp. Now, Jedediah has very much promised that he's not going to do any crazy shenanigans during this attempt. You know, the landing. He was welcome to try for the higher parts, but now that we're actually landing with Kerbans, with tourists on board here, look at how excited they are to land. I don't have a ton of electricity left. Okay. Passing over the desert. Yeah, I guess this really would be a Gemini 8 that was going way out of control spinning, but the difference is the pilot was in the seat that time. And that does make a bit of a difference. Okay, let's adjust again. Should be good. We're going to turn off SAS. Which may have been a mistake. No, we don't want to... there we go. We'll leave it on here. This thing is not as stable as I would like. We're going to adjust it just a smidgen. I think KSC is just over these mountains, if I remember right. Yeah. We're not going to hit the KSC, but this is not bad. Where's my... yeah, game. Why do you do this to me? Well... Huh. I guess the spacecraft both exists and it does not exist. Obviously, we have the wrong set point. Let me... see what else I can do. Oh, we got a pretty steady response at this point in time. We're at a good altitude. We're starting to way slow down. So even though we can't see our spacecraft... Oh, wow. Well, would you look at that? We're going to hit the mountains. This will be interesting. There we go. That's better. Deploy all except EVA. Okay, Highlands. That is a different report. Good, 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 good. Now we're just waiting to slow down. I have no lights on this thing. This is probably looking really horrible. Can you do an EVA on the mountains? Yes, you can. And you can collect a sample too. So if we're lucky enough, we'll end up there. But I don't think we're going to end up there. I think Highlands is as close as we're going to get. Let's go ahead and deploy. Big old giant chute. Yeah, so there's the mountains. We just missed it. We are in the Highlands, which I have not landed a mission in before. So we'll just full speed this. Oof. Deploy all except EVA. Collect all. Not as much science as I would have liked, but not hideous. What we need is about 40 to get the bigger command pod, which is what I really want to go to the moon. But one way or another, we're going to go to the moon. We may send essentially this spacecraft, but I'd like to do something that's a little bit taller. A little bit fatter and shorter, I mean. This would naturally be to a taller mission. Okay. Looks like our hatches deploy all except for the EVA. Collect all. And then can we rotate around? There we go. Hatch is clear. So we have our, we got our surface sample. He has the jetpack, but we actually want this. He will not need the jetpack here. Okay, deploy. Now, can we plant a flag, but why? What? Oh, we have the jet. This has the jetpack. What do we have? Requires no atmosphere. Why can't we do that? I don't know. I'll figure these out. We'll put this back in here. So this we should be able to do. Looks like we're gonna golf. Nice. So if I jump, let's see, jump, and I can do the EVA report. There we go. Okay, we got that. Excellent. Now let's see if we can do the EVA science. Yeah, it can't be done while you're in flight. That's not a surprise. Now, let's try one more time to see if we can figure this out. Maybe you have to have a scientist to play this. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Okay. We'll figure it out later. We'll do a rescue mission with the scientist, or actually we're going to figure that out on the surface, no doubt. Now, get back in there. Actually, before we forget, let's give him his inventory back of the jetpack. This guy. Won't do a lot of good here, but come on, do it, do it. Okay, we tilted it on its side. That should allow us to just board. There we go. Perfect. Recover, and we're looking good. Hole in one. Nice. We did get enough science. Excellent. Decent funds. Excellent. And we got our tourists back. In one piece. What is it that we want? No, this. The mobile processing lab would be nice, but we're not going to play with that yet. This is the one we want. Okay, so we still need a ton more science. I think it's time to go to the moon. What do you guys think? So, first thing, we're going to take 3 astronauts, 1 engineer, 1 scientist, and 1 pilot. So it's got to be this. We're going to put a big parachute on there. Science-wise, I don't think I'm going to take the Science Junior. We will take, because the natural spot for that would be between the parachute, and that thing has too much of a tendency to melt. So we'll take the barometer, we'll take a thermometer. We'll have the scientist, so we shouldn't need more than 1 of anything. cargo. So we can put 3 things in here, and those 3 things are going to be it's a conformal unit. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna mess with that. EVA experiments. Well, we want this. And then we have Jeb, who already has the EVA experiments. We may need some solar panels. Oh, we're gonna need more than this. Okay, let's see what we can do utility-wise. Cargo? Oh, we could just stick... Hang on. So that'll allow us to stick some more stuff in here. There we go. And then... So we'll actually put that a little bit lower, which will be fine. A cargo storage unit. Okay. There was like a solar panel or photovoltaic panel. Here we go. We're going to put that in, and then we'll put a light too, just for the fun of it. Nope. Nope. Small one, still too big. We'll put an EVA jetpack in here. Nope. Darn. Just this. Can't even do that. So we have a really, really tiny space, but that's okay. That'll be fine. Okay. Next thing, we need the fuel tank. Now, we're not gonna do anything too fancy. Well, hang on. Next thing we need is the heat shields. Probably not really needed, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Yeah, that's thermal. There we go. Finding stuff in this game is sometimes a bit of a pain. Then we'll need our decoupler, which is actually pretty important. Excellent. And just checking the staging. Fuel tank. 32, I think, is the biggest we've got. That looks good as far as the size goes. Now, we could just put a little Terrier engine. It looks a little silly, but that should be more than enough for the moon. Yeah. This is going to be enough to get us to the moon and back. No problem. So we just got to get into orbit. Let's try out a couple of different engines. Terrier may work. We want something that has high VAC ISP. $345, $310, $320, $320. This guy. Yeah, we'll go with the poodle. I like it. Okay, then we'll put this guy. And then we'll have a couple of these 32 tanks. We don't really need a lot more than this. We just need a booster to get us off the ground. That should be more than enough fuel. We'll need our landing legs too. Let's see, these need to go right about here. Ooh, we do not have very good landing legs. Well, that's okay. We'll just make up for that with a lot of them. They're not gonna reach. Aw. Yeah, they reach now. That'll be fine. And then let's start retracted. Good. Now let's move this little thing. Whoops, we only want one of those. Down lower so it's easier to get access to from the surface. And then hopefully we can put our stuff in there. Or jetpacks or whatever. I would really, really love to have a jetpack here. Let's make sure everybody has a jetpack good. Yeah, well, it'll be fine. Now we just need something that has a lot of thrust. Which is clearly not that engine. Skipper, maybe? It's not good enough. Thud. Well, let's check something. If we have a skipper, then we have more than enough fuel. It's like, why is there a wheel there? We're just gonna do... Let's try this. We'll try taking off one more. No, I think we want this much fuel. So we're just going to do it with some strap-on boosters. This will be fine. Let's go our coupling. We'll do some powerful ones, though. Oh, 46,000. Lunar Express. I don't know. The anchor point is clearly not quite right, so let's move this up a bit. Zoom out. So let's manually drag this down. I think that will do. You know what? We're gonna do the same thing that we've done before, though. We're going to just replace this with some hammers. Except for we would need a lot more hammers. Put the kickbacks in. Even the kickbacks, we need to thrust this if we're going to do that. So we'll put the kickbacks in. We're thrusting in all the time. Okay. So this is kind of like SLS. And it's not reusable, so it's even more like SLS. Okay. In fact, this is a lot like SLS. Huh. Yeah. What am I missing, guys? I think we're good. Let's do it. This feels good. Okay. Whoop. Well, that's what we're missing. Need a little bit of launch stability. We'll put 2 of these on. Hold this together. Keep it together, man. That will also keep us electrically sound. So, where's the moon? We'll do the same thing we have done with the previous missions. Let's do it. Oof. Just barely inching off that launch pad. We do have the full collection, scientists and engineers. Beautiful. Now we're doing better. Let's start our gravity turn just a bit. Now let's rotate. Probably put these rockets on at funny angles. Okay. A little bit more. Well, the only thing I'm worried about is the deployment, and if we eat this one, we eat it. Woo! Okay. So let's go into maneuver mode, and T-minus 48 seconds, and we're holding steady so we can go a little bit more. We want to keep that around 30 seconds if we can. In fact, we can go way more. There we go. It's slowly going down, which is about where we want to be. And we lost the boosters. No surprise there. But it did get us to where we wanted to be. Okay. Let's keep going. We're at 45 and holding steady. 44. I'm looking at this thing right here. Time until we hit our apoapsis. Going slowly down is where I want to be. We're a little bit too high. I guess I can look at this right here as well, because we have an engineer on board. So we're gonna full level out. just rotate this to be a little bit more level. And how much delta V do we have? 1,000 meters. We can almost make it to orbit with this, which will be good. We'll have just a little bit of spare. We are getting a little bit closer to this. We're going to go a little bit more vertical. Make sure our distance is continuing to increase. Good. So we're at the end of the stage. It should be increasing a little bit. And if it's not, then we're doing it wrong. Okay, let's level out. Full horizontal. Good. Oh, we have actually a fair bit of thrust with this stage too. Nice. We are almost there. Gosh, the game has just gone silent at this point in time. It's almost spooky. I think we're gonna do the lunar rise trick, and that's gonna be right about the right time to get us there. Meanwhile, I want to check something. Gear looks good. Man, it sounds clunky, but it looks good. Okay, I have not done a moon mission in a long time, guys, so this will be fun. Okay, we're just going to keep going until we see the moonrise. Or until we hit our up oasis. Okay, so far so good. No moonrise yet. There's the sun. Let's just take a quick peek at the map. The moon should be right behind it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on. Yeah, I screwed that one up, but that's okay. Where's the moon? We're in orbit, that's the important bit. Okay, keep and collect all. So the moon must be, it's mostly eclipsed, which is why we couldn't see it. Okay, that's fine. Let's just do this. We'll do it the better way. put the lunar periapsis on hold there. 63. Yeah. We're not going to go directly, but we're going to get pretty close. So this will do. So warp to the next maneuver node. Good. Actually, it's going to be almost perfect. This will be fine. This must be the moon right there. Burn time is a little bit off, so we need to go to about 25 seconds. There we go. And at this point in time, I'm actually, well, we'll leave this in place just so it shows us roughly how long we need, but I'm going to turn this off once we start to get close. Yeah, it's right near the sun. Kerbal. I don't remember if I accepted the mission to do the lunar exploration. Let's make sure we've done that before we get too far. But we'll finish the burn first. Okay. Let's just... there we go. There we go. Perfect. Now, let's go to the Space Center. And we'll see what's up. Okay, explore the moon contract. Any other... interesting missions? No. Just that. Okay. Lunar Express. Should be fine. Let's turn on our science just in case we get something new. So I'm looking to see if I... This must be the moon right here. There's like... No, that's a glare. I know we're heading in the right direction. I just want to see where it is so I can figure out what to look for in the future here. Okay. We've got 2 hours until that. That's fine. Still don't see the moon, and we should be getting really close. There it is. Whoa. Yeah, I did not see that at all. Okay, we should be coming up soon to flyby. Let's go ahead and put this in our terminal position here. Let's see. Right like that. And now I'm just going to go ahead and warp to right before our periapsis. Looks like we do not have any communication which is fine. We don't really need it. But it's good to know that we'll need enhanced communication for this far out. Let's warp to about here. We won't need a lot. So let's go to a maneuver planning mode. Turn off the map. So we're looking to get this good. Bring this down to... let's slow down, and we're gonna try to get to something below 50 for now. Now, I'm not going to target a particular spot. I just don't do that for whatever reason. Let's give it a little bit more. Deploy all. I forgot how risky that is. Collect all. Okay, let's get on target and slow us down. Get down to below 50 and we'll be good to go. Okay. Beautiful. Systems checked. We have more than enough to do the mission. If we can do it right, we'll take about 600 meters per second to land. About the same to get back up, and about 400 to get back. So we'll have a margin of about 500. Gears deployed. Check. So, where should we land? Honestly, let's just land right now. So what I'm going to do is bring this... I'm going to try to get right on the lip of this crater. Okay. Now, hang on. Let's switch here to our surface mode. So that is kind of important. We need... What's our time till the... one of these. Suicide burn length will be 17 seconds. So we need to turn this on at about... I'm going to go a little bit before this countdown. But we're going to try to do a near suicide burn. Okay. $18. I'm going to go at about 5. I'm going to hit full throttle. Okay. I'm going to wait a little bit and then hit full throttle again at about 5. Good. And then again. Oh, we have a landing radar. Oh, nice. Whoops-a-daisies. I hit too hard of a burn. That's okay. We'll just let it slowly bring ourselves back down. Surface speed is lowering. Okay. Contact light and... Nope, no! Ah! I always do this. Daggum. Well, first things first. Deploy all except for the EVA. Collect all. Let's do an EVA. EVA report. Take the surface sample. We will... that would be another... Can we drop our store experiments? There we go. So we're going to jump. EVA report. Okay, so it doesn't give us anything different. That's interesting. Perform EVA science. We'll hit some golf balls. Sure, it's gonna give us lots of science. Miles and miles. As the one astronaut that hit a golf ball on the moon actually said. So let's store this. Get a little closer. Store experiments, good. So we're on the ground like this. Let's see here. Let's get our scientist out. Well, let's let Jeb deploy a flag because he did pilot this. I hate rescue missions like this. But this is fine. Plant the flag. Plunk. We salute you. Where are we? On the moon. So we won't need the jetpack. Let's Huh. I just thought it was tilting a little bit, which is kind of scary. Let's get our... It is moving. Okay. So let's see here. What can we do? Let's try not to run over our flag. Come on, tilt it. I should have put a solar panel on here. Oh well. I don't know what we're gonna do. see. So we can spin pretty easily. This is fairly steep, which is probably gonna work in our favor. Let's just stop. Maybe if we deploy the landing legs, we can get these to keep us steady. Okay, good. Bill, get out here. We're gonna have you deploy some science experiments. Let's take this with you. Actually, let's go. Can we reach this? Yes. Okay. Can we get you as well? No. So let's see. Deploy. How do you deploy this? Oh, there we go. So we'll just walk along a little ways. Hit the deploy button. Space to place the part. Neat. What else do we got? This thing, which we'll have to drop our parachute for. Not a big deal. Except for it seems that getting this done in the right order is kind of key. Okay, there we go. So this will be deploy. We'll deploy it close. Over here somewhere. Nice. We got this thing. What else? We got our golf experiment, which is fine. We have some more stuff in here. We're going to deploy everything we got, even if it's copies. This really does add something to the game. I like it. And this is our jetpack, right? Yeah. Okay. So we got a bunch of little experiments here going on. So that's a control station. We have 2 of those. This is powered. Let's pick this up. We're gonna place it over here. So hopefully this is all connected up. I think this is all good. Okay, so these are just giving us some science. Okay, we have good comms. comm signal. Okay, I think we're good. So let's go ahead and board. And then we also need to have Bob come out just to... He's the actual scientist. Jeez. We'll have you take the surface sample just because we don't fully trust the stuff that Jebediah may have done. Who knows what that guy would be up to. I think... Nope, produce, but it does require one. I think we've got everything that we need. Everything's powered, and we're getting transmissions and whatnot. Okay. Oops. We actually need to move a little bit forward to make this jump. Cool. Now we feel a lot more like the Apollo astronauts. We did all this kind of stuff. Dump, that's fine. How much electricity do we have? Well, I don't know what we're going to do here. Hang on. All right. I think what I'm going to do is take the gears and we're going to try to roll uphill. And instead we're succeeding in rolling downhill. Okay, we're gonna try a low-level rocket thrust. Oh dear. So I think this is gonna be a rescue mission. I think we're going to accept that this was our screw up. Good news is we're vertical now. Yeah. It's rescue mission time. All right. Let's rescue Jebediah. How are we going to do this? Well, there was a couple of issues with this spacecraft. We're going to save this. This is Lunar Rescue. First thing, we could ditch all of the science. There's plenty of fuel. Do we want to try to do a surface run? No. We're going to send the same spacecraft, except for we're going to put in a control pod of some kind. We have this guy, Probatine. Do we want to do an unmanned rescue, or do we want to try to... This seems risky. It's probably okay, but... We'll just put one of those Probatine modules on the outside. Why? Or we'll just hide it somewhere deep inside the fuel tank. I'm fine with that. The other big thing that we do want, if at all possible, is some more controllability. So we do have some thrusters. Let's put a set of 4 thrusters. We're going to use these for landing. And they should also work for this. I'm going to ditch the goo container, but I'll leave the other stuff. Okay, crew. We'll need an antenna for this. So let's take the crew off. Just the basic antenna should be good enough. This isn't attached. You're right. Good call. I'm gonna do the part clipping way. Right, like there. There's enough room to tuck it in that decoupler. There we go. I like that. That looks better. Shall we do this? Let's do it. Oh! Well, we could get rid of one of these antennas. There's not that many more parts. Wait, we gotta go in place mode. There we go. That's what's going on. But we do need one antenna. We'll take off the science instruments. Did I not have a temperature? Well, we're gonna put a temperature probe just in case I missed it. Huh. We don't really need this. So let's go ahead and ditch this. Okay, we can launch this. Good. Let's do it. What do you think the odds of success are, guys? It's decent size, but it's got to carry 3 people, so. Let's just go ahead and launch. Exactly. I haven't had a good old-fashioned rescue mission in a long time, though. So this will be good. Actually, let's go this way. Yeah. That's the way we want to go. Let's rotate so that our solid boosters are better lined up for when we ditch them. Boy, this is turning into a mess. Hang on. We're going to do a revert flight for this because I need to fix something in the assembly building. The problem is these boosters are not on straight. I think this will put them on straight. Launch clamps are fine. Only reason I'm accepting this as an option is because I was already going to do it anyways. There we go. This is better. This is already much better. They're not perfectly lined up, but they're close enough. This really is like SLS. Two big, giant, solid boosters with one engine that can't quite perform, but it's high performance. Yep. Okay, looking good. Let's go to maneuver mode. So we can level this out just a scooch. Whoa, hang on. Gosh. This is a mess. Oh, not rip yet. I've done worse. Come on. There we go. Woo! We're just doing dog legs, that's all. Luckily, we have way more fuel on this thing than we really need. Got to get some style points in somehow. Okay, let's hold steady here. We're at 23 seconds to reach our Apoasis, so we really don't have that much control authority without the RCS. Huh. I guess it really helps when you put stability control on, though. Jeez. Whoops. That's a newbie mistake. Okay, keep leveling out. So far, so good. Now the real question is can I get this to the right spot on the moon? 21 seconds. Yeah, we're gonna hold steady here. Okay. Getting close to the end, but we'll level out just a scooch more. We're starting to climb up on our time to up Oasis, so we can level out a little bit more. Gain some efficiency that we don't really need, but why not? You gotta love it. We can almost make it to orbit with just this thing, and then have the entire Moonlander basically be cargo. Let's go ahead and do it. So we're basically pure horizontal, and this is growing, which means that we will reach the point where we need to cut off our engines early. But we'll wait until we have an Oasis that's at least 75 kilometers. Ooh, I love the night missions in this game. They're hard to see, but... Okay, good. Yep. I do like this engine. It's one of the more efficient engines, actually, for that size. Must be mimicking a Russian engine because the Russians have some of the best rocket engines. Ooh, there's the moon. Yep, we're going there eventually. Are we going to hit space anytime soon? Probably not. This is actually my first unkerbal spacecraft. Well, it's not really to spare. But yeah. Come on. Inch forward. Let's go a little bit faster time warp. Okay. Let's do it. Okay, we are now in a stable orbit. We're getting relays through the moon. Excellent. Somewhere right around here, I think, is where we need to do our maneuver. A little bit later than that. There we go. Looking good, looking good. I bet you we can just adjust the timing of this and get a better... Yeah. Let's decrease the velocity. There we go. I think this is going to be our winner. So this is the burn we're going for. Beautiful. Orbital next maneuver. Oh, you know, everyone's first mission to the moon in this game is horrible. And if it's not, it's because you've been watching tons and tons of videos. But even then, everyone's first mission's horrible. If you can get them home, then it's a success. And even if you can't, then that's fine too. There we go. This is a near optimal burn. How much RCS fuel do we still have? Beautiful, we barely used any. This is my first moon mission in a long, long time, which, yeah, it's a little ambitious probably to be going for that for your first one, but that's okay. You're always going to have a little bit crazy. I could have done just a one Kerbal mission, but where's the fun in that? You got to bring the scientist and engineer just in case. Wonder if there's a crane. That would be cool. Let's turn this off, and then we're just going to fine-tune this until we have a nice low... There we go. Perfect. And then warp to here. Let's do it. No science to speak of. Yeah, the orbital dynamics I'm pretty decent at. It's the landing that's the trick. Oh, I don't have engineering redux for this because I don't have an engineer on board. Oh. Well, this is going to be interesting. Huh. So I have a little bit more of an inclination. So what we're going to do... Did we run out of power? We forgot to put power because this is a... I'll revert this one. Only because there was no Kerbals on board. Yep. Newbie mistake. We'll put 2 panels just in case. 3. Which probably means we're not going to be able to launch this. Yeah. Whoops. Oops. Ah! Wrong button. Meant to click the other mouse button. I should have plenty of money. We should be able to upgrade this thing. Yeah. There we go. See, I would try it without the RCS, but no. In fact, can we put... Well, we have enough RCS fuel. Okay, this'll do. We could have probably put fewer landing legs or something like that too, but it was time to upgrade the VAB. It's such a good launch, too. Oh, well. See if we can see where the moon is. I do not see it. Oh, there it is. We're headed straight up towards it, yeah. Looking good. Let's just keep this steady. Put the maneuver node on. Yeah, we can level out a little bit more. Let's see if we can do this without the flip this time. Because I forgot about that. It was not a perfect launch by any means. Come on, stay steady. Keep it up. Oh, wow. It's later than I realized, but that's okay. We're having fun. Have I got any fins unlocked? Yeah, I have fins, but who needs fins? Psh. I mean, I probably should use them, but let's... level this out almost completely. We did a little too vertical. So we got 30... we're a little bit too horizontal. Let's see. There we go. This is about right. Slow countdown, but we don't want to let it get below 20. So we leveled out too quickly. This is good. Yeah, at this point in time, I have all of the basic stuff unlocked. And I used fins for some of the earlier missions, but I just prefer not to use fins if I can get away with it. Unless it's for something that's meant to fly in the atmosphere for a little bit longer. Come on. Almost there. Even pure horizontal, we're still increasing this, so we're going to have another one of those same kind of orbits. It means we definitely could have taken a shallower trajectory, which is fine. Still not bad. It's just not as optimal as it could be. Okay. Looking good. That's right. This is the problem with this kind of trajectories. You got to do this. So let's see what else is going on. Yeah, well, it's definitely more entertaining. I think I have better fuel efficiency on this one though, but that's because we didn't have the victory lap that the previous one did. Did I? Oh well. Was that an orbit though? Because if it's not full at orbit, then. Huh. Okay. Oh well. Even with the victory lap, I still did better last time, huh? That's fine. Let's lock this and adjust the time. So, right about here. Slow this down. Yeah, still tinker with it. I think right about here and then a little bit further forward. There we go. That will do. So let's warp to the next maneuver node. Even with the flip, I did better. That's crazy. Well, there's so much margin built into this that it's not even funny. Okay, we're lined up now. Let's fast forward. At 32 seconds, we need to go. 6, 5, 4, go. Yeah, I will not forget to do that after this burn is done. And I'm sure we're power positive now. Yeah, we're doing good. That's why I have multiple of them, so that way, whatever the orientation is, one of them should get at least a little bit of sun. Okay, coming up. And as soon as I hit the moon, there we go. X, and we're going to just keep this going until we got a nice low pass. Okay. Now, let's focus on the moon here. We have a little bit of an inclination, which is good. We will be able to target our spot. That's the real key. Our spot's actually pretty close to the equator. We could probably... Hang on. Yeah, our landing spot's right on the equator. So we're going to see if we can kill off our inclination. Well, yeah. We'll just do it. We're just going to achieve orbit. And then once we achieve orbit, then it'll just be a highly elliptical one, and we're going to tweak the orbit a little bit. Okay. Warp to here. Now let's keep going to here. Good. 28 seconds. Go ahead. Let's wait a little bit. It's only going to take a few seconds to burn, so we'll wait till like 10 seconds. Give it a couple more. Okay. Now. I think. How are we gonna do this? I think we need to. Oh, good. It does have the descending node to adjust. So we're going to add a maneuver here. Well, I'm just going to put the amount it does, or the location. It doesn't really matter. It might be out of antenna range from the surface, but it's okay for here. Because I can actually, I should be able to directly connect back to Kerbin. No, I can't. Huh. No. I do have enough. I have some signal strength. Yeah, I'm not using any mods that change the gameplay. Just some quality of life ones. Okay, good. That looks much, much better. So then we're going to come to here. Let's warp to just a little bit before. And I think... Well, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to aim for crossing about here. Now we're going to go a little bit long. I actually want... Yeah. I want to go past it just a little bit. Okay, we still have plenty of electricity. Let's do this. Yeah, I may do that. I have a couple of quality of life and visual mods, but that's really all I'm doing so far. I do actually want to take this... Ooh. Well, let's see what we can do. Let's see if we just do this. I don't know that we're getting any closer. Really don't want to have to walk the Kerbals that far. Let's try this. Okay. There we go. That's better. So let's warp to here. We're still going to go on surface mode. I'm still near orbital velocity. Okay. A little nervous here. Let's put the landing legs down. 'Cause why not? Let's start slowing down. I'm going to still aim for just a little bit past. Quick save. I'll allow myself an extra attempt if this one goes horribly, horribly awry. Okay, so far so good. Give it just a few seconds of warp. And then let's see what we can do. Okay, I think we're looking pretty good. How's our fuel? Yeah, we got plenty. Where's our target? I can't see for sure, but we're really close. Where are they? Where are you guys? Well, we better start slowing down. One way or another, we're landing. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this an evening after we land successfully. And then I'm going to walk the Kerbals over here in between episodes along with the science, because I think that's kind of boring. And yeah, I'll continue this on Monday bonus stream. Let's get to closer to a hover. Actually, this isn't bad. Hang on. Okay. Come on, come on. Did I just blow the rocket bell? Oh. How close am I? I mean, we should be able to see the other. Okay, we'll try this. Allowed one redo, right? We're coming right over it. We are a little bit off. Let's see if we can... We don't want to point down. We want to point this direction. There we go. That's a little bit better. Landing gear is deployed. I was a little bit worried with how big of an engine bell that we may have this issue. Okay. So far, so good. Where are they? I also should have put lights on, but that's okay. I'm going to try to get into a hover mode. Yeah, doing fine. Excuse me. We're looking fine. We're basically right on target. We'll turn on RCS. Dadgum. Okay, one more time. Yeah, that was definitely too fast. It's too many things to keep track of. Okay, looking good. So we'll put it in radar mode. Warp a little bit. Okay. Okay, we're still a little high. I think we're heading towards the edge of this crater. It's a little easier when you can focus on the suicide burn. I should have put the Kerbal Engineering module on here. Okay. Let's slow this down. Keep going. Okay. Go, go, go. Come on. Nope, nope, no. Well, I have RCS this time. I can definitely hear some stuff, though, so I'm fairly close. Yeah, I should have quick saved, but that's okay. Let's wait till daytime. Is that it? Wow. Okay. We have RCS. Tell you what. Oh, I don't want a quick save here. Let's turn it off. We can roll a little bit closer to our experiments. Towards our 4 Kerbals. Okay, RCS, and get us up. Up, up, up. Yeah, next time I'm going to have a much, much smaller dedicated lander. The lander's only going to be for landing and not for the whole kit and caboodle. Landing and also returning home. I'm trying to think if there's anything I can do. I don't have to bring back 3 Kerbals, but I want to bring back 3 Kerbals. I only have to bring back 1, technically. But how do you pick which one? Okay, let's do this. Let's just keep rolling. Yeah, there's definitely some tricks that I can probably do. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to get to the launch site here between episodes. And then Monday, we're going to figure out how to get this thing off. I'll do some experimentation. We'll leave it horizontal so you guys can figure out how I actually do this. But I'll do some playing around so that way we have something to go off of. Because it's getting late and I need to call this an evening. But thank you guys so much for joining me. If you haven't, feel free to follow me so you get the notice on when I go live. It'll be about the same time of day, probably on Monday. Thanks to everyone who follows, subscribes, likes, etc. I have a YouTube channel. I have 2 of them. One where I post my Kerbal videos and stuff like that I do on Twitch, and one of them that does more space sciencey types of things. At least I managed to land in the right spot. That's all I got for now. So thanks for everything. Until next time, keep on tracking. Take care.